second day at this Lambda World, right after his keynote, his opening keynote. I'm here with Eirík. Hello, Eirík.
Hi. Hello, it's very nice to be here. Thank you. Um, so you had a couple questions for me, and I'll sort of answer them. The first was, why did I choose to do functional programming instead of other programming paradigms such as imperative programming? And the answer there is that I sort of came to it from industry. So I was working in particular fields where we were having a hard time coming up with code that we were able to reuse and be effective. So we wanted to be able to develop new products using sort of the existing technology that we'd created, and we were having a difficult time doing that with sort of imperative or object-oriented code. And when we adopted these functional languages, we found we were much more quickly able to get our products working, get them working well, get them working fast and correct. So basically, it was a very pragmatic decision based on sort of the business needs at the time. And ever since then, I've sort of been in that world and kind of stayed there. So the second question was, in my talk, I spoke about something called referential transparency. And it's a pretty big word, and it sounds kind of confusing, but I'll try and sort of explain it by analogy. So the idea is when you're writing code, you would like for only the code that's right there when you're writing to have an effect. But sometimes you'll have code that does something far away, and then later on when you want to change that code, you have to consider all the places it might have been or gone. So it's code that has these hidden linkages out there, and if you move it, you're going to break everything, right? It's sort of like when you have a bunch of friends who kind of expect for you to do stuff, but you haven't talked about it with them, you haven't made plans, but they kind of expect you to do something, and then you make different plans, and it kind of messes up what they're doing, and they didn't talk about it, right? It's better to make plans explicitly, so you know if someone's saying, oh, well, now I'll be an hour late, everyone else knows that they're an hour late and can change. With the other paradigm, it's a little bit more like you just hope everything's going to work, and then when one person's late, now everyone's late, then you miss the train, then you can't get to the store, or whatever you're doing. So that's sort of an example there. And then the last question you had was how to motivate future work. So my talk's about extending these functional programming languages, and the question is, how do you motivate people to do that? And in one sense, I think that people are inherently motivated because when you work with these languages, you do hit up against these places where you say, I wish this were better. And you sort of feel a discontent. You're like, I think this could be better. And so I think the motivation comes from there. But what I do think that we can do is try and illustrate how it's been done before and do a good job of saying, if you did want to do this, here's the steps you would take. Here's how you start. Here's some examples. It doesn't have to just be you kind of versus the world. You can say, these other people have done these things. You can kind of follow in their trail and then at a certain point break off and kind of go your own way. So I think that's the best way to kind of really facilitate and motivate this kind of work.
Well, thank you for your time and enjoy the conference, Eirík.
Thank you so much. I will. Have a great day.
Bye.